Like, I mean, really, if we're going Marvel, he's actually really Ironmonger. He's what a Obadiah.
Oh yeah, I could see that. He's
Yeah, he's a starter villain who, but this time he keeps coming back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I do like him as like the
the way I see him is like, okay, yeah, this not only is he acting as like the guiding hand at first, because he's like, yo, this is my world, let me show you it.
yeah.
Um, he's also acting as like in some forms the leader because this is his world. He's kind of helping with commands at first, saying, all right, this is some of the stuff. And then, oh, fuck, he's bad. So, A, guiding hand, let me show you my world. B, oh no, alien invasion, let me help you get rid of these people because we don't want them here. And then C, oh shit, he's the guy that they were literally, here for basically.
Right. Um. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Here's a final question before because we actually went a little bit over
Got you,
in
got you.
terms of writing time. Well, two questions. Is he our main villain? Is he truly Doctor Doom? Is like, oh, it's really all about him?
I think you have to ask yourself more so of what are we defining as the villain here? I think
Or big bad
in
rather.
terms of like evil, he is the main evil. But I think the final season would end on just like war between these two areas, between these two planets, and then a resolution of conflict.
Right.
Whether that be due to Vero and like understanding like he's the bad guy or something else. We'll have to talk about another day probably.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But I think he's like the big bad because I don't see this other place as like bad people. They're just like, you're irresponsible. I don't think you should have this, you know?
But yeah, my other idea for a final villain was basically one of the council members who doesn't like Hannibal.
That would be cool too, actually. That, like, let's say Hannibal manages to find a resolution or something, right? And the council members like, I don't trust you.
Yep. No, yeah, exactly. I mean, literally, one that's from Halo, the Prophet of Truth in Halo 2 is in 3 is the villain. But I just had it in my head. Okay, you know how like like villain team ups?
Yeah.
Like how like Lex Luthor and Darkseid teaming up now, or Thanos and Doctor or whatever. I kind of like that.
Okay.
Just that idea of but he's that level of villain, I guess.
Got you. Got you.
Um, yeah, wow, all right. Understanding he's a villain. Yeah, okay. Evil council member in Carthage being the villain. Yeah, I'll say this too. In the real Punic War, the war ended at in Carthage, basically. Like it ended on their turf.
Interesting. Okay, that would be cool too.
You want to do that as almost like a final season too, like we kind of or at least the back episodes of season 4.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I like that idea because then I you know how I am with world building at this point, and we can create so much from that.
Would there be a power in saving the actual reveal of Carthage the last season? Like, do we meet this world with humanity, like when they go?
I think leave them as aliens during their scouting, during their first initial meet. you know.
Like, when do we see Carthage planet? Basically,
I think during the big war, the war, not the small, not the little war, not the scout war,
Okay.
where they're just basically like checking in on shit. But season 4, that's when we see it.
Okay. Do you want this to just be for? Well,
I mean, this could go further, personally.
But in further in a way of we're following one story, or is this like this is the end of one arc? Do you think?
I think, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Like it's season 4, like all right, that's it. Is it Lord of the? Okay, so is it Lord of the Rings or is it? Because I mean, if we're doing a comic book, it goes on forever.
Yeah,
it is.
I-
Yeah,
we potentially could go on with more of the same story. If let's say you want to do that big bad team up, you could reveal the evil council member. That could be season 5.
yeah. I like the arc thing. I like the season 1 through 4. Just well, really, I mean, all right. So if you go back to the math, see 4 seasons. All right. Where the fuck I just had it. It's something like. All right, well, hypothetically, let's say each season is 12 episodes. In comic book world, this is 24 issues. 24 times, the hell is it?
Let's see. Each one is 12 episodes.
Well, 24 issues times 4, 96 issues. And that's arc 1.
Okay, yeah, I could see that being like, yeah, a whole arc then. That would be the end of the arc.
And then it's like, is there anything after arc 1? Or is it like this is it yet?
Maybe.
Like, why? Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a broad question that is almost irrelevant.
I think in order to answer that question, obviously, you would have to build a little more upon arc 1 to do so. I think it's a very big maybe.
Because I could also see it ending after 96 issues.
I mean, me too. Me too.
Like, this is the story and that's it. I guess we have to see, like, at the end of the story. I mean, if they're in harmony now. Because I was also thinking in the Punic War, this is another question. There was other factions too involved. Like, I mean, it says it right here. Basically, just go back to the original. And this is what caught my eye. Like, oh, this is Game of Thrones. Was all these other factions. Was basically like you have Sicily, Sardinia, Iberia, Macedonia, Syracuse, which actually we did on our last episode. I took again from the same source material, and what did I do with it? It's its own. That was the setting basically. It was basically so Carthage and Rome became countries instead. It's set in 2050, and Syracuse is an independent city.
I see.
We got the Numidian kingdoms, Iberian Gaelic forces on both sides. You have Greece. You'd have independent Carthaginian generals. It's a lot of shit that after the story is over, you got Saguntum. Basically, the point is, after this arc 1's over, there's gonna be a lot more to play with. And then because it's comic books, the fun of it is it does go on forever.
Right.
Like that's one of the exact appeals of the genre. Is that
arc 2 could be like, how is the world affected by all of this now that it happened? Because this is like a big no turn back kind of thing.
right?
I mean, there could be a lot going on.
Right now, these two civilizations live in harmony. Now what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, holy shit! I think we do have something kind of cool here.